Here you go.
Free your mind.
Hey y'all, we back for another Free Your Mind Friday. So last week we discussed the 3 layers of the brain. What does this week have in store? We're still reading Behave, The Biology of Humans at Their Best and Their Worth by Robert Sapolsky. So probably one of the craziest times, I'm sure your parents will agree, that we have within our lives is adolescence. It's a crazy hormonal whirlwind going on with teens. And so when we're talking about behavior, one and being able to rationalize and to think clearly with complex comprehension of if I do this, this is going to happen. How will this impact my future? Yeah. So what make them act this way? You know better. And at least that's what my mom used to tell me when I was acting crazy. I taught you better, you know better. But what's really going on in our brains? That prefrontal cortex, which is the evolved part of our brain, which allows us to do complex comprehension and rationalization and limits and boundaries, all of these things. Now, if we're equipped with all 3 layers, does it mean that all 3 layers automatically work once you're born? Nah. On episode 2 on Black Family Scholar podcast, Dr. Metzger gave us a great overview of the importance of rites of passage programs and how they function in indigenous societies and how they can flourish in modern day societies. Basically, what she said was that the community prepared children when they reached puberty. They went through this program, a rites of passage program, which allowed them to become functionable husbands and wives and also contributing members of their community. So the rites of passage program was a time in their lives where the community gathered around them and they taught them these lessons and they had to be independent in their learning. So that those lessons might have taken place in the bush away from the community, so that once they finished and they learned everything they needed to learn, then they were able to be introduced to society as an adult and a functionable member. So I asked myself, with everything we know about brain development, how are we preparing African American teens for what's really going on with them and for us to be able to be resources for them when they don't know what's going on themselves? So yeah, check out over here, episode 2, Black Family Scholar. I'm giving you these tips about brain development so that when you're interacting with your teen and you may have unrealistic expectations for what they can do. Now, don't get me wrong, teens run game. However, their brain is not developed and it's not hardwired yet for them to be able to make complex decisions. Now, some kids can make, well, I'm gonna say kids, some young adults can make decisions out of circumstance. However, it is up to us to be able to be armed with the knowledge to be able to help them be flourishing members of society and not allow one small aspect in their development to totally, what word am I looking for? What you do in your teens, we don't want that to, still haven't found the word. We don't want what they do in their teens to follow them into their adulthood, because they made irrational decisions based off emotions and wanting to be liked, things which are all normal. However, it's for us who know better to help them. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget, comment below. You can reach out to me. You know why it is. I'm just playing. You know where I am. You know where you can find me, at Black Family Scholar on Instagram. You can email me, info@blackfamilyscholar.com. I love to hear from you. I love to hear your stories. If you have any questions, hey, we're here. We're a family and we're here to work together. You're only as strong as your family, and you're only as strong as the children that we are building to one day become elders. So let's do the work. I'll see y'all next week.